Welcome to today's Operation Greatness chapter meeting for all of our chapter leaders through operationgreatness.com/leader, because my friend, you are the inspired visionary leader the world needs now. So be it, by you devoting yourself to leading, inspiring, transforming, and liberating, LITL, the whole world. Everyone you are here to serve, you are destined to serve. That is your happiness, joy, fulfillment, well-being, peace of mind, success, prosperity, meaning, impact, contribution. The more you're contributing meaningfully to others, the more fulfilled you are. The more successful you are, the richer all areas of your life are. We're going to talk about how you're doing that in this Operation Greatness podcast. The theme that I am receiving and holding now is, and I would like you to answer this yourself, this question: how do you get to the top? I don't know. That's the theme that came to me, that I received this morning. How do you get to the top? How do you achieve whatever it is your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma? How do you accomplish that? How do you achieve that? How do you fulfill and honor your reason for being? I don't know. Do you feel how liberating that is? To be okay with not knowing, with not having the answer? Because, and also we're going to circle back to our last podcast where I talked about the law of tenfold return, or the law of 100-fold return, or the law of 1,000-fold return, or even 10 million, or 10 billion, or 10 trillion, or 10 quadrillion. What determines your result? Are you getting 10 times what you've given, or 10 quadrillion times what you've given? We'll circle back and talk about that. That's my intention in this conversation here as well. So that was in the context of living the philosophy of outgiving God, where you're coming from. If you didn't hear that yet, then go back and hear that one. Where you're coming from, I am so wealthy, I am unlimited, and what is God, quote unquote, that's the word that I use to describe the infinite, unlimited, that which is, where there is nowhere God is not, including and especially within you, obviously, of course. I mean, feel that, know that, trust that. Experience that with every breath you take, and every breath you exhale is, you're breathing God, because your work, as we said in that program and in others that we've done together, your work is receiving God, opening 100% to that which is, not holding back, not limiting yourself, not playing small, not coming from scarcity, fear, lack programming that's of the matrix, and you are so much beyond and greater than the matrix ever could possibly have ever hoped to be. We're experiencing that through freeing the matrix from your mind, which is one of the gifts that I have to share with you through freeingthematrix.com. So let's go back to, how do you get to the top? First of all, what is the top for you? Is that the fulfillment of your goals, desires, and dreams? Is that how you are living your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma, which is why you're here? It's what you're meant to give, contribute, receive. Actually, I talk about it as Kamar, C-A-M-A-R, what you are creating, attracting, manifesting, allowing, and receiving. This is what your life is all about, how you are receiving God, opening 100% to living your fulfillment, achieving your reason for being, creating, enjoying every moment of you unfolding. And that's what your life is about, right? So how open are you to that? Or were you coming from ego, which is not God? 0% God is 100% ego. 100% God at the top of that chart is 0% ego. Notice they're on polar opposites. And you can also say that 100% God is 100% what? Knowledge, truth, love, wisdom, and 0% ignorance, 0% evil. And I think it was, maybe the Kabbalists in the Jewish faith, the mystics of the Jewish religion, where they talk about evil means a veil. I love that notion because a veil is something you can easily lift, remove from your vision, your judgment, because that's all ego, right? How you're receiving God. When you're 100% receiving God, you're flowing in the currency of life, right? You're not holding back. You're not, oh, what if they don't, or what if they, or you're not even thinking about how others judge you or feel about you. You're being you because you are God's gift to the world. Is there any question about that? I got chills. Just seeing that in you, feeling that of you, because you living that is your destiny. Because if you're coming from ego instead of, that's not God, if you're coming from ego instead of God, then you're blocking the flow of the currency of life. Like a dam over a river creates pressure behind that dam, and it causes imbalance, like the flow of God or the Holy Spirit or the presence of God or prana, which means vital life force in Sanskrit, which is a metaphysical language. That holds tremendous power, and because the currency of life flowing to you and through you, that's how God is blessing the world. Because your work is opening 100% to God, to receiving God, and then to extending God in the world. Because God is, this is the natural order of you, and this is your work to open fully to that, how God is working through your life to bless the world. That is your purpose. Extending God into the world. And you could say, what does that mean? That means extending love into the world. What does that mean in a practical sense? That means being of greater service to more people. That means not holding back the gift you are in fear, because what if people, well, no, those people were, key word, they were coming from fear. They were in their ego, which means not God. And with you honoring and fulfilling your purpose, achieving your reason for being and living true to who you are as God's gift to the world, you are transforming them. You're helping them come out of ego, not God, and opening to that which they are. So they are no longer that dam obstructing the currency of life. They're no longer limiting the unlimited from working through them as well to lead, inspire, transform, and liberate, doing a little more today in being of greater service to everyone connected with them. So by you right now, for example, leading all of your online friends into this Operation Greatness podcast, walking them through opening fully to God themselves as we're all doing this together, and you leading them through coming from God, opening fully 100% to God, getting out of their head, out of their ego, out of that sense of that false need to know, which is just all false. It's not even based in reality. It's based in ignorance. It's coming from ego, not God. So how does that connect for you? How do you feel about that? Were you coming from ego, not God, instead of God? Notice this comes back to our question, how do you get to the top? I don't know. And there is beauty and elegance and grace and miracles within that letting go and letting God. Because when you're letting go, and notice that word is almost right in there, you're letting go of what? Ego, not God. Very insightful. You're feeling that, right? When you're letting go and surrendering, and, like that old song, Frère Jacques, Dormez-vous, I forgot the rest of the words to that, but it's basically like, I'm like surrendering, and I'm just a leaf on the stream, and I'm gently rolling down the current, and not a care in the world. Are you a spiritual person? Are you a mystical person? Are you... Anyway, the tarot deck, and it's a source of beautiful symbolism that just goes right through the ego, the block, the dam of the currency of life, the block that you, to some extent, had used to limit the unlimited, to block God from you, and then from sharing your gifts with the world. How could you have ever even thought it was possible to limit the unlimited? That doesn't even compute to me. God is the word that I use personally to describe the infinite unlimited. And how could you say that you are separate from that which is? That and which is omnipresent, present everywhere. There is nowhere God is not, especially and included within yourself. It doesn't even make sense. It's kind of like trying to divide anything by zero. It doesn't work. It's just a mathematical impossibility. It's a mathematical impossibility that God is present everywhere, omnipresent. There is nowhere God is not. And yet somehow you're separate from that, like you're not connected and part of God. That's not even possible to imagine that being remotely true, because that would be 100% ego and 0% God. And you're not that at all. If you felt you were somehow different and God just left you, like the visual I get is the apple falling from the tree, and the apple doesn't think, oh, come back to me, tree, I can't live without you. No, the apple has its own tree within it, And that tree, that apple, is meant to grow and flourish as the new tree. I mean, this is you, right? I get the word nutrient, being treant. I'm kind of making up words, and yet it's kind of an interesting flow here, so I'm just going with it. Letting go and letting God. I mean, so did you feel like you were the apple that fell from the tree, and yet you're looking for that tree because you feel separate and disconnected and all alone and isolated, instead of not looking outside of you? No, you're turning within and seeing, wow, I am the source of the new tree. I only fell from the tree or was let go from the tree because I was ready to flourish myself. You're feeling this, right? You're seeing, wow, I was let go from the tree because I was no longer needed to be spoon-fed because I have it all within me. And you're turning your attention within you, and you're joyfully letting go and not striving and not grasping for anything outside of you to reattach to that, because you have all of the gifts within you to thrive, to shine, to grow and flourish. And this is your life's path. This is how you're reaching the top. And what does that look like? I don't know. I mean, like, I love that metaphor or that visual of, like, if you can picture you climbing this steep mountain, and, you know, how does the mountain climber or the cliff climber get to the top? Well, one step at a time. And where is that next step? Well, you see maybe like the first 3 steps or 2 or 3 steps, and you kind of see like, okay, I mean, this is your journey, right? I mean, see how this describes your life journey. Like, I mean, picture yourself looking at this sheer wall that you're going to climb to get to the top of this mountain, because that's what your life path is, climbing to the top, right? And you see, like, okay, well, I'm getting to this top here. What obstacles do I see along there? Well, this area over here protrudes outwardly. That looks like that would be fairly deadly. So I'm not going to go near that place. And this place over here, I mean, you kind of this is like stepping back and looking at the big picture. Like, okay, let's bring this to you personally here. Where are you going in your life? What is your destination? What is the goal that you want? I mean, like for me, for example, if you're watching this, if you're doing the Operation Greatness podcast, I mean, our chapter meeting for our chapter leaders through operationgreatness.com/leader, then I'm showing you it's a circle that has written on it. First of all, it says, I deserve everything I want. And for me, that's code word for I am receiving everything I want. And then under that, it says, I want you to feel this already, because this is you. This is your journey. I believe that we share this journey and we're walking it together through freeingthematrix.com/free-month. Under there, can you see that? I don't know. Yeah, I think that comes in pretty clearly. If you're watching this, and if you're not, then I'll read it to you. It says, and so feel this. Is this part of your journey? Is this what reaching the top of the mountain, which means fulfilling and honoring and achieving and living your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma, is this your vision as well? Because I feel like I'm talking to you because we're walking this journey together, and I'm even leading you through being the inspired visionary leader of all of your online friends, and this is where you are leading them. And this is humanity's dharma that we are together fulfilling, and we're doing this through freeingthematrix.com/free-month. And so see if this is what the top of the mountain is. This destination is where you are going to reach the top. I have helped 1.72 billion people become very wealthy, living their dharma through freeingthematrix.com and Operation Greatness. This is the higher purpose of all of our lives. This is the greatest thing every one of us has ever done. Because our power is unlimited, and there's nothing that we cannot do, and we're meant to live so much beyond the limited belief about ourselves that we used to have, like the apple grasping for the tree again, instead of turning within and finding that we are the new tree ourselves, and we're growing and we're blossoming and we're flourishing and we're living that design, our divine design, duty, destiny, dharma, and we're not looking for external validation because that's all of ego, not God, and we're just allowing God, we're letting go of ego, not God, and opening fully to being God's gift to the world. How is this connecting for you? Are you feeling this? Are you hearing or seeing or knowing or all of that and so much more, that this is speaking directly to your heart, that this is God almost using a megaphone or speaking from the clouds and saying, I'm talking directly to you. Hear these words. This message is me speaking into your heart, and you are letting go of ego, anything that is not of me, and you are turning within you and seeing you are enough. You have everything you need to be my gift to the world. And you're acknowledging, wow, I really am God's gift to the world. I'm being that now. I'm not holding back or limiting the unlimited. I'm not slapping God in the face or turning my back on God. I was so misguided in doing that before because I fell into the matrix, the programming, and felt like I was enough. I was coming from scarcity, fear, lack, limited consciousness. No more. I don't know the way forward. I don't know. I mean, like what Dan was saying, I really feel this. I have helped, that means you, right? I have helped 1.72 billion people become very wealthy, living their dharma through freeingthematrix.com and Operation Greatness. This is the greatest thing every one of us has ever done, because this is the higher purpose of all of our lives. That is what I believe is your reason for being. I believe that's the picture of the top of the mountain. You leading 1.72 billion people to become very wealthy through freeingthematrix.com and Operation Greatness. And we're doing this together through our Freeing the Matrix Mastermind, which is at freeingthematrix.com/free-month. It does cost $59 a month there. I will gift you the full month if you are willing to receive that, receiving God. That's through freeingthematrix.com/free-month. And then you there once you're in the mastermind, will receive, just go to the About tab or page, and at the right side, you'll see the logo for freeingthematrix.com. Then you'll see a description, and then you'll see a button at the bottom. It says Invite People. Click on that button, grab your link, and that's the link that you will be sharing with all of your online friends in all of the posts that you're making in this Operation Greatness chapter meeting as well. And everyone who is then receiving God at the level you are, and remember, you're leading all of your online friends through becoming part of our Freeing the Matrix Mastermind as well, all through freeingthematrix.com/free-month. Well, when they're joining, as they're joining through your link, you're getting 40% of that $59 fee from every person every month. So, and our focus is, remember, our 1.72 million people that you have helped transform, become very wealthy, living their Dharma. Well, that is 1.72 billion people is the result of you right here, even by sharing all of the posts that you're making from this Operation Greatness chapter meeting through your link, by you leading every one of your online friends through joining us through your link in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. That 40%, by you reaching 1,200 people who are joining us in the Freeing the Matrix Mastermind through your link, your Invite People link, where you're getting 40% of that $59 per month fee. Well, 1,200 people times 40% of $59 is $28,320 per month. That would be worth to you. And your 1,200 people, by them then leading their 1,200 people through joining us in our freeingthematrix.com mastermind. And well, that's 1,440,000 people who are getting their 1,200 people. That's 1.72 billion people. 1,728,000,000 people you have transformed. That's how you get to the top of the mountain. I mean, does that make sense to you? Is that the vision of you getting to the top? And then you ask the question, how do I get to the top? I don't know. How do I get my 1,200 people joining me in freeingthematrix.com in our mastermind alliance? I don't know. Am I willing to trust and let go and have faith that I am meant to do this for what this does to me, because this is by far the greatest thing that I have ever done to better myself, and as part of my gift to the world, as part of my legacy to my family, to my friends, to everyone I am here to serve. I feel good about that. That feels right to me. Is that fair? Can you feel that? Do you have that inner knowing? I have to do this because this is the higher purpose of my life. I have that knowing. I have to be here because I've always known that I'm meant for so much more. And he's right, exactly, when Dan was saying, I was holding myself back. I was being limited by my ego. I was feeling like I needed to be validated from the external world. And yet he's also right, like he's saying, I am the apple, and I'm ready to become the apple tree myself. And what does the apple tree do? It grows apples, right? Which are serving the animals or the people. I mean, feeding, allowing the gift the apple tree is to give its gifts, right? I mean, that is you, the apple tree, or the apple that fell to the ground and is ready to allow the seeds to take root, right? within God, right? So this is, I don't know, God, you show me the way. God, lead me. I am here. I am open. I am the vessel. I am the instrument. I am the hollow flute. And you're opening to God, the prana, the vital life force, the currency of life to flow to you and through you, making beautiful music. You sharing your gift, right? Is there any question about this being how you are here to live? I don't know, God. You show me the way. I'm open. And then you're trusting that inner knowing. Because the seed, the apple that fell on the ground, it doesn't wonder, how am I going to become the tree? No. It just relaxes. It surrenders. It lets go. And that seed has the code within it to open and to grow. And then there's like that little sprout that comes out of there. Maybe then the leaf comes out of the sprout. And then all of the nutrients are there for that sprout to grow. And maybe it sends out a shoot underneath it that goes into the earth. And then it's seeking out for water, or it's establishing itself and getting its grounding, its roots, right? And what are your roots? Well, your faith, your direct experience of God, your knowing and acknowledging that you are here for a very important purpose, and that is to be of greater service to more people. I call that extending God. You're here to receive God, the infinite, unlimited, working through you as much as you are opening to that and allowing God to work through you to lead, inspire, transform, and liberate everyone you are blessed to be able to serve. I mean, how is this connecting for you? Are you recognizing? You're recognizing and seeing like, wow, everything he's saying here is just spot on. It's like he's inspired. It's like he's opened up and God is speaking directly through him. And, or is there still some ego left, not God? And, well, this is the work of every one of us. And so, you're relating what you're hearing to you, and you're seeing how that is true for you. And going back to the mountain, you don't need to know, that would be from ego. And what is ego? Like the need for certainty. And yet, when you let go and let God come from God instead of not God, then you don't need that certainty because I don't know God, but you show me the way. And I trust that you can see the big picture because you're the one who created the mountain that I am here to transcend or ascend and transcend over, climb over. I'm here to reach the top. And I don't know how I will do that. You know how I will do that, and you will show me. And so the person climbing the rock face can see, like, well, that looks like a pretty good foothold right there. Place for me to put my hand and my foot underneath that. And then it looks like I can get to there, and this path up here might be the best way to get to this place. And then, so maybe you can see like 3 or 4 feet or 3 or 4 steps, moves, and then from there you will have the higher perspective where you can then see, oh, this looks like a good place. Maybe I could take a minute to catch my breath up there, and then you go up to there and that feels inviting, and you see, you're trusting God. I don't know, God, show me the way. And you're letting go of ego and you're opening to God. And then you just have that inner knowing. Because there is never a moment where God has left you. Yes, you left God. You blocked the currency of life. You tuned it out. You drowned it out. Let's be real here. You drowned it out with noise. because you allowed yourself to be distracted. You allowed yourself to be sucked into the matrix of fear and limitation and lack, programming. And that's why we are freeing the matrix together through freeingthematrix.com/free-month, where you are then doing this yourself, and then you're going to the About page, and you're going to the Invite People link, and you're getting your link, and you're adding your link to all of the posts you are making from this Operation Greatness podcast, as you are actively, consciously transforming the lives of all of your online friends, because that is how we are creating our vision that 1.72 billion people became very wealthy, living their Dharma through freeingthematrix.com and Operation Greatness. And this was the most important thing every one of us has ever done, because this is the higher purpose of all of our lives. And you're feeling that and knowing that and trusting that. And how many people can you personally lead, inspire, transform, and liberate, doing a little more today and being of greater service? Well, all of your online friends. So be it. Be that inspired visionary leader in their lives. Help them, walk them through coming from God instead of ego, not God. How does that feel? Is that inspired? Is that like the apple seeing that, wow, I have the ability to give apples to all of these people? That means I have to grow this tree myself. So I'm going to send my roots deep into the ground, and I'm going to grow 12 feet right now and be this strong apple tree, and I'm going to grow my apples, and I'm going to give them, because I have that ability right here with this Operation Greatness podcast chapter meeting to transform the lives of all of my online friends, because they're apples who are grasping for the tree themselves, and I'm going to show them, hey, give in and go within, let go and let God. Turn your attention back to yourself, and you have everything you need. God has not forsaken you. You had forsaken God. You, because of ignorance, you didn't recognize that God is within you, and you're no longer obstructing that. You're no longer coming from ego, not God, and you're just walking them through this Operation Greatness chapter meeting, and they're joining us in our Freeing the Matrix Mastermind through your link. And this is by far the most important thing that you have ever done, because you're getting your 1,200 people, and they're getting theirs, and they're getting theirs, and you transform the lives of 1.72 billion people. Is that exactly reaching the top? And you didn't know how you did it, and then you did it. It is that simple, right? So one more, how does all this feel to you? Are you getting the inner knowing like, wow, I have to do this. He's absolutely right in everything he's been saying here. I'm feeling it. I'm knowing it. I'm trusting it. And that just feels right. I have to do this. You have that inner knowing. Is that fair? Is that accurate? So go to freeingthematrix.com/free-month, and you can decide whether you are receiving the full free month there, or are you joining for a full year there and getting 2 free months? And also then you would be receiving my $10,000 bonus coaching program. That's only for our people who are going all in. You're not going to hold back and limit the unlimited, are you? Everyone going all in for the full year of our Freeing the Matrix Mastermind through freeingthematrix.com/free-month, they're getting this $10,000 coaching program, which is called Mining Every Nugget in Your Mind. Just feel it out if that's important for you to do as well. And right there at freeingthematrix.com/free-month, you're getting the video of one of our very important Operation Greatness chapter meetings. You can watch that if you want. And once you are inside our mastermind, then you're getting, which one is that now? That's freeing the matrix from your mind. You'll recognize how much more powerful your mind is than the matrix ever was. That's why we have the words freeing the matrix, not freeing from the matrix. No, it's you're freeing the matrix from your mind. That's a very important insight and knowing for you to have. I think that's part of how you are getting to the top, is freeing the matrix from your mind. This is all through freeingthematrix.com/free-mind. So relate this to you. How are you achieving your climb to the top of the mountain? I don't know. And yet I trust that this, joining the freeingthematrix.com mastermind, gives you the seed money. I mean, 1,200 people joining through your link would be worth $28,320 a month. And yet how many people are you transforming by leading every one of your online friends? And what would that be worth? What is that number of people times $59 per month times 40% of that? That's your potential, right? Is there any reason that you would limit yourself from achieving that potential by letting go and letting God, and by saying, I don't know, I'm willing to trust and surrender, and you show me the way, God, because you know the end result. You're the one who is showing me how to get to the top, and I'm feeling that and trusting that and knowing that and surrendering to you. Let go and let God, coming from God instead of ego, not God, right? So, the one last thing that I wanted to share with you in this Operation Greatness chapter meeting is from our previous podcast that we did, our last Operation Greatness chapter meeting. We were talking about outgiving God. Yeah, coming from that much abundance as a way to live where you're being as generous as you can and you're not holding back, because that's only limiting God, obstructing the unlimited. How is it ever possible to even imagine doing that? And yet when you're coming from outgiving God, giving more than the infinite and unlimited, that requires you to be infinite and unlimited yourself. And you know that, well, it's talked about as the law of tenfold return. And yet some people are willing to receive the law of 100-fold return. We talked about this extensively in our last chapter meeting, so if you didn't go through that, then you're welcome to do that, especially through our Operation Greatness chapter Private Wealth Alliance, chapter leader Private Wealth Alliance at operationgreatness.com/leader, where you get the video of that. And so when you're coming from outgiving God, oh, by the way, I mentioned in that podcast that I had this coaching program, and I don't remember if it was 8 lessons or 10 or 12. I don't remember. I think maybe I outlined like 15, but I think I might have completed like maybe 8 or 10 of them. I don't know, 12 of them. I am going to create that as a course for our Operation Greatness chapter leaders, Private Wealth Alliance. That's through operationgreatness.com/leader. If you're interested in doing that full outgiving God coaching program, I will share that with you there. So, what is the difference in the law of tenfold return or the law of 100-fold return or 1,000 or 1 million or 10 million or 10 billion or 10 trillion? The amount that you are opening to God. The amount you are saying yes to receiving. The amount you believe in yourself, right? Because you're not coming from scarcity, lack, programming, and all of that was you limiting God. You coming from ego instead of God, not God. You're not coming from not God anymore. You're not allowing your ego to limit you anymore or hold you back even one iota of self-doubt or feeling not worthy or not good enough. That's just limiting the unlimited. That's blocking God. That's obstructing God. That's saying no to God. No more. Never again will you allow yourself to do that. Will you affirm that? Will you acknowledge that? Because that's why. How could you ever limit God? I mean, like, if you give $1 million and you expect $10 million to come back, that's the law of tenfold return, right? Or by you, for example, investing the tuition of our Freeing the Matrix mastermind for the full year, it's a very small amount. It's because each month is actually, it's honestly a $2,500 per month coaching program that you're getting for your $59 if you're doing it monthly. And by you investing the full amount for the year, that's saying to God, I'm going all in. I'm not limiting you in any way. And you're expecting, like, what, the tenfold return? Or you're opening more to God and expecting a millionfold return. I mean, how does that feel to you? Because you determine the size of the return you're getting by how much more of God you are receiving, and therefore able to extend in the world. And there's no limit to that. I mean, like we talked about in the last Operation Greatness chapter meeting, energy is energy is energy is energy. To the infinite and unlimited, there's no difference between $10 and $10 trillion, right? Only someone coming from ego, not God, would see that as different. I mean, yes, maybe $10 trillion has more potential energy than $10, and yet to the infinite energy, there's no limit to you. There's no limit to God. There's no limit to the amount of good you are able to do in the world. Because why would you ever limit the unlimited? You're opening fully to God, extending God, receiving God first. You have to breathe in before you can breathe out. You have to receive God before you can extend God, right? You are worthy. You are deserving. You are God's gift to the world. There's no limit to how much good you are here to do, because that's allowing God to work through you to bless the world. And that is your higher purpose. That's why you are here. So open fully and allow God to work through you to bless the world. Will you do that? Breathe in this. Allow God to work fully through your life to bless the world. Acknowledge that you are doing that you're not holding on to the apple tree because you've already fallen and you have the full tree within you, and you're allowing that to grow, to flourish, to thrive now. I feel really good about the person you have become right here now, and you're letting go and letting God. I don't know God, but you do. Show me the way. Lead me, guide me, inspire me. I'm in your hands. I'm opening fully to you, giving me the blessings as you are blessing the world. Because you are worthy, you deserve it all. Like I wrote on this circle that I'm sharing in the video, if you're seeing that, I deserve everything I want. And that means I'm creating everything that I have within me to share, to give. Every moment I am. And that means I'm connected with you every moment. Because together we have helped 1.72 billion people become very wealthy living their Dharma through freeingthematrix.com and Operation Greatness. This is the best thing that every one of us has done. This is the higher purpose of all of our lives. You know that, you feel that, you trust that, and now you are opening to that being your reality. You're living that. Am I right? How do you feel now? How much more inspired are you? How much more are you believing in yourself and knowing how much you matter? Because it is because of you that 1.72 billion people became transformed, became very wealthy, living their dharma as God's gift that they are, and they're no longer holding back or limiting that in any way because you said no to limitation, and you said no to scarcity, fear, lack programming. You said no to the matrix, and you let go and let God. And you're coming from God instead of ego, not God, right? So I want you to take all of the posts that you are making and put them into the essay that you're sending me from this Operation Greatness podcast, as we're doing with every one of our chapter meetings. And you're sending that to me personally at dan@danclatt.com. Will you do that? And then also share all of the posts that you have made from this conversation with us in our Freeing the Matrix Mastermind through freeingthematrix.com/free-month. And if you're in our chapter Leaders Private Wealth Alliance through operationgreatness.com/leader, then also post it there. All of the posts that you have made from this Operation Greatness chapter meeting. How does that feel? Because this is how you're giving so generously to every one of us. And then all of us are sharing, the posts that we have made, you're welcome to share those posts as you are further serving every one of your online friends. And this is the higher purpose of all of our lives. Is there any question about that? So how do you get to the top? I don't know. You know, show me the way. And I feel the way forward, at least the first few steps. Does that feel right for you to join us for the full year of our Freeing the Matrix Mastermind? Would you like me to gift you the full month of that? freeingthematrix.com/free-month. I love how this has played out. This has been so joyous for me, so joyful, so fulfilling, so meaningful, because I feel like you're really hearing this and you're allowing this to serve you at the highest levels. Will you acknowledge that? So I would love for you now to go back to the beginning of this, if you hadn't been pausing at each insight and relating it to your life, and then sharing that insight that you had with your online following, all your online friends and followers on your social media, with your invite people link in all of your posts. So I think we've talked 53 minutes now, so I think you could have easily gotten 53 posts, probably more like 60 or 70. So put them all into that email and share that with me, the essay that you're sending me. Also, let me know what was most meaningful for you in this and how that has transformed you. Receive it at that level where this message, this insight, this gift from God has transformed you. And share with me what that was, because I would love to know. All of this is God, and yet I feel so good when I know what kind of an impact what comes through me has had on you. So let me know. I would love to know that. Send that to me personally at dan@danclatt.com. And make sure that you're leading, inspiring, transforming, and liberating everyone you are blessed to serve. All your online friends you are able to free because of this message, by you hearing it yourself and by you sharing it with everyone connected with you. How does this feel to you? This is the higher purpose of your life, and I sense you know that and trust that and are allowing that to be your result. Am I right? I love you. I believe in you. I know how much you matter, because I know that the world is significantly more loving, abundant, giving, because you lived. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.